This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar for Sunday, November 16th, 2025, and is the first day of the week, the 25th day of Cheshvan, 5786. The Parsha is Toldot, and the Daf Yomi for today is Zevachim 63. The Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar. It's a Daf Yomi calendar as well. It's a lunar and solar calendar, and also a Julian calendar, all compact into one calendar. And the purpose of it is to compute gematria in a timely manner, and to see where you are in time gematriatically. And another project that I've been working on, and you might have seen some of the videos on my channel. It's on the same channel, the Daf Yomi and the Tekus that I do, the unanswered questions that I record, and the PL-89 presentations, along with the infinity pi matrix, numbers of pi. And right now I'm thinking about ways to merge the infinity pi matrix and with the PL-89, seeing how they can work together. Obviously, they're very different in nature. The PL-89 calendar has a very finite, very set, limited amount of numbers, although with this calendar it can go to the infinite amount of numbers because there's something called the rule of 40. The rule of 40 means that any one of these numbers, you add 40 infinitum and it stays the same number, as it were. I mean, obviously it's not the same number if you're the same. So, for example, today is November 16th. So on this calendar, the 16th day of any month is going to be here. Doesn't matter what month it is. If it's the 16th, it's going to be right here. And it's the 25th day of Cheshvan. So it doesn't matter if it's November 25th, if it's Cheshvan 25, it's going to be right here, box 12, because the count starts from here. Now, it goes in this, what's called, in this setting, I call it in a certain setting, as what I call dispensation. It goes November, December, January, and then February, March, April, April, May, June, July. It starts with all the months known as the fixed months, and that's one setting. There's three settings, and in this setting, the 16th of Cheshvan is right here. Cheshvan, but it doesn't matter what month it is. All 12 months, a 16th day of the month is always going to be here. January, February, March, anyone, Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, any month is going to be right here, 16. And the way this works is that, very interestingly, if you add 40, the rule of 40, if you add 40, it's 56. 56 is right here. 96 is right here. 136 right here. Okay, 2,016,000 is right here. It all stays in the same thing. So that's infinite this way. In that way, at least it has as many numbers as anyone can possibly use. But pi is different because pi is just changing all the time. It's random. It's arguable whether it's random or not. But to us, practically speaking, pi is random. You go into 100 digits, and then you go into 200 digits and 300 digits, and there's nothing that you can really tell, unless there's some things you can tell about pi that look like it's a pattern, it's ordered, and like for example, in pi, if you count 360 digits in, and it lets you, okay, there's a way. Let's say there's a debate philosophically. Let's say. Maybe just where you start the count from, meaning is 3 is 3.14. Is 3 the first digit of pi, or do you only start counting after the decimal point? So I've seen different people online, and they make pi calculators, and there's two different opinions, two different viewpoints. And there's calculators that start with 3 as the first digit, and there's those who start with 1 as the first digit. But what's very interesting is that whether you okay. Some start with 3 as the first digit, some as 1, right? So this is like a circle. It has to do with a circle, right? The ratio of the circumference, the diameter to the circumference. So when you think about pi, you think of a circle. But when you think about the number 360, you also can think of a circle because of 360 degrees. What's very interesting is that whether you start from 1 or whether you start from 3, you're good. When you get to 360 digits into pi, if you start with 3, you'll come to like the 357th, 58th, the 58th, 59th, and 60th. Meaning by 360, you have the digits of 036. But if you start from the 1, then you'll get 360. So any way you start, so that actually would be an argument for to start from 1 because it's more accurate. When you get to the 360th digit, you've spelled out 360. You count 3.14159, 265, 358, 979, 843, 264, etc. And you count 360 digits. When you get to the last 258, 358, 359, and 360, those last 3, it's going to spill out 360. And then in the other way, it's going to go 036. So that's fascinating. That would point to the fact that there is some thought behind, like someone created pi. Someone thought about doing that. I don't think that's by mistake. So who is that someone? Who is that someone is the question. So, but anyway, I went off on a tangent there, but what I really wanted to explain was how this works. It works like, there's all kinds of theories today about like simulation theory or, all kinds of ideas about. I don't throw it all out. I say, there may be something to it, but maybe instead of calling it a simulation, maybe call that there's a mathematical framework that can be tapped into, that can be understood. I'll tell you what I mean based on this calendar. Okay, today is the 16th day of. There's another rule though, that if you see how it's purple and it's light purple, they can. That means that represents each day. Each box is a day. So the rule is that if you're in one day and one day is not enough to record for that day, because when you experience reality, you don't have time necessarily to record it. You're busy experiencing it. So, but yet by the time you're recording it, it's not that day anymore. So that solves a problem that makes them both considered one day. That means the day that you're recording it is the day that you're experiencing it, because the 2 days are considered one day. With that idea, and you'll see why this is very important. This is the same justification, by the way, I'm paralleling in thought for kodalim. You know how in gematria, when you get a word and another word and it's off by 1, so the idea of kodalim is you can take the sum of the thing itself, and then that counts as a point. So then it's equal. So some people, I met someone who absolutely will not do that. They say that's cheating. If it's not exact, I'm throwing it out. I know someone like that, and I can see that viewpoint. But I can also see the viewpoint of kodalim, because certain gematrias are just too amazing, and they're with kodalim, but they're exact. I mean, like like the amount of, like, if you add up all the books of Shulchan Aruch, it comes to the amount of chapters in them, the number of chapters of what is it? Orach Chaim, Yoredea, Hoshen Mishpat, and Even Ezer. The amount of simanim in all of them. Simanim are like chapters, or like, parts. It's like 1700 and something. So let's just say 1705. But if you add the gematria of Orach Chaim plus Yoredea plus the number will be 1704. It'll be like one off. And like that's too amazing. It's too amazing for you to just throw that out. It's too close. If it's off by a few, okay, it's still pretty cool. But this is off by one. In that case, I would say that I would count it. So that same idea is applied to here. If it's a day off, it's still considered. And why am I saying this? Because today's daf, Yomi, Sunday, right now it's Sunday. Yeah. I mean, right now it's officially it's at night, but I'm talking about Sunday. The daf was 63, but I didn't finish the daf from before. So on the one hand, you could say I'm still in daf 62, but on the other hand, another point about kolim is how gemaras are made. If you notice that if you're on daf 63, you're not really on daf 63. You're really on daf 62. Why? Because every Gemara starts on page 2. So when you're on 63, you're really on the 62nd actual page, although it's page number 63. And that's the same idea of kolim, and that's the same idea of being off by one. That there's a very, very special place to be off by one. And it's the same thing as the people who count 3 as the first digit of pi, and it's a machlokes between the people who count 3 as the first digit or 1 as the first digit. The same thing by prime numbers. Do you count 1 as a prime number or not? Mathematicians today will say no. 1 is not the first prime number. Even though it functions, it looks like, it smells like, it tastes like, exactly like a prime number, but it's not. There's a reason for that, because it can't be grouped together with the other ones, because there are qualities that every other number has after 1, every other prime number has that 1 does not have. It has to do with factorization. I'm not exactly sure. Like 1 doesn't have any factorization, but other prime numbers, you can be like, I don't want to mess it up, but it has something to do with factorization. And so, but some people do count. Someone who's a very big in the gematria world says that the Jewish way to calculate gematria, calculate prime numbers, is 1 is the first prime number. It has to be. And there's many results that come out only if you count 1 as the first prime number. So basically, I'm giving all these examples to say that there is a place for like elu ve'elu, like both. You can be off by 1, or you could see it this way or that way, or that kind of a thing. And even counting that, I'm saying I can see the idea of being off by 1 as an idea or not. Anyway, but the point is that this is what I'm saying is that we're daf 63 or 62. But see, now we can use both. So right now I'm going on the side that we're 62. Okay. 62, what did it say in today's daf? That means that this day is on the box, is 16. And something that I want to know for a long time was said. What is that? That in Zvachim, page 62b, it brings a Mishnah in Tractate Midot, and Midot is about all the measurements, metrics and stuff, the measurements of the temple and stuff. And the ramp and the mizbeach, the altar, and so there's a Mishnah about the ramp of the altar in Midot 36a, which is very important. Why 36? Because if you look on the columns, you'll see the number 36 right here. but it's in the same column as the number 32, and it's the same column as the number 16, because it's based on 8. And 8 plus 9. Now, 36 doesn't really have to do with 8, but of course, 32 and 16 do. So listen to what this Mishnah says, and I'll tell you how 36 comes in afterward. There was a ramp that was located on the south side of the altar, whose size was a length of 32 cubits by width. So it's 32 cubits long, a length of 32 cubits by a width of 16 cubits. What's today? Today is November 16th. And on November 16th, you're on box 16. So how is it that on the daf that's being read today, remember we said 62 and 63, 62 is considered today? How is it that, and plus I was there anyway, I didn't finish the daf and I was reading this today. How is it that on the 16th day of November, I'm reading in the Talmud, it says the width of 16 cubits and 32 in the right. And where is it though? It's in Midot 36, but that's in the same column right here. Look, 36. So 36, 32, and 16, they're all the same. So how is it that comes out today? It looks like, it can almost look like someone planned this mathematically. No? I mean, when you see these things line up, and so that's the idea behind the Gematriatic quantum thought calendar. It's looking to take apart the reality through the numbers and say, when do these numbers show up on what days and why? So you have that for 16th. Now, it's 25th. It comes out on 12th. That means, like Hanukkah will be, for example, on the 25th as well. But it won't be here. It will be here if it's in dispensation 1. But we're in dispensation 3 right now. So Hanukkah is going to be over here somewhere. But this is the 25th day, and Hanukkah happens to be on the 25th of Kislev. But today, this is for the 25th day of Cheshvan. And as far as 12 versus the 25th, I can't think of much other than 12. Remember the rule of 40? You add 40. So what's 12 plus 40? It's 52. And 52 is the mirror image of 25. That's one connection I can make. And that's about it now. It's going for long enough, this video, so I think I'm going to keep it there for now. But I think it's explain enough to explain how this PL-89 calendar should work ideally in a gematriatic way.